Okay, we are now recording. Great. So again, welcome. I'm going to start by talking about advising at Western, just to give you a sense of what that is like. I think especially if you've participated in a Running Start program or if you've attended another institution, advising experiences are different from institutions to institution. So let's see, there, that worked. So your first advising experience is really going to be during your initial advising and registration experience at your orientation. More information is going to be coming out about that experience from the new Student Services and Family Outreach Office. They're the office that manages the overall orientation, and we work with them to insert the advising and registration component. These are going to be, Western has made also a decision to offer that virtually this year. So we'll be doing a model where students will still receive the same exact experience as far as learning about advising and all the important policies and tools and resources that are necessary for that first quarter and getting you started, and you'll also register for classes. We'll just be doing that in a virtual way. So my team's working really hard right now, working with various partners across campus to make sure that we provide a quality program for our students. Content that's included in that advising experience within orientation. We help you understand what graduation requirements are, which include general university requirements. We like to call those our GURs. Understand transfer credits. We realize a lot of incoming students have transfer credits, whether that's from Running Start program, college and the high school, attending another institution in any way. And so we help you understand those transfer credits and making sure that you're not going to take something you've already received credit for. Major declaration, we're going to help you understand what that looks like. Every major is a little bit different, and so we guide you through that process to understand where to go to find various information about majors and how to declare those. Lots of academic planning tools and resources that are available to students, and we will introduce you to those and help you navigate and learn how to use them in the best ways possible. And then ultimately get you registered for fall quarter classes. So I'm going to jump into the chat and check that really quickly. Great, just lots of friendly greetings. Thanks for that. We'll keep plugging along here. Ongoing advising. So after you come to orientation, there's lots of general advising resources. Our office, the Academic Advising Center and Student Outreach Services are the two more central advising resources for students on campus. Student Outreach Services, also known as SOS, focuses primarily on students who are first in their family or first generation college students. And our office sees everybody else, all undergraduate students. And we can help with things like academic planning, understanding GURs or transfer credit, help you navigate those to majors as you're thinking about majors. If you're unsure about a major, that's an awesome place to be, and we want to help guide you through that process as well. So we can do that. Academic department advisors are really important when it comes to your major coursework, or if you're going to do a minor. Majors so academic departments have their own advisor that provides that specific area of expertise for students to help them understand major declaration and so on. Once students are declared in a major, they're going to get assigned a faculty advisor, which is really exciting because there are content experts and they're going to help you plan out your coursework within your major. They'll help you when it comes time to, maybe you want to do an internship, or there's a research component or a study abroad, or something that is more of a co-curricular experience that you're interested in, or that might be a requirement for your major, and they're going to work with you through that process as well. So advisors are really important. We recommend that students seek advising at least once a quarter. No one's going to knock on your door and say, hey, it's time for advising this quarter. It's really important that you're seeking that out at least once a quarter. And we recommend doing it in advance. So what's really great is that Western posts classes a year in advance typically. So students can really do long-term planning. Right now, the goal is for fall in that first experience, but not waiting till the last minute makes class planning a really smooth process for students. So some tips, I want to just offer you some tips for that first advising and registration experience during orientation. Um, the virtual advisor, this is something that you don't have access to just yet. I know students are contacting our office saying, how do I get access to this thing? After June 1st, you'll get access to the virtual advisor. It is a resource that our team of advisors have developed for incoming students to help you really get prepared. It's a lot of the same information we're going to tell you at orientation, but it's a lot to process. And so we deliver this in a way that you can go through it on your own, that is going to help you understand ways that you can prepare for advising, prepare for registration. It's in Canvas. So when you go into My Western, you'll click on the Canvas button at the top. It's not there right now after June 1st, and it's accessible for all students who've confirmed to attend Western. Some other recommended steps that we encourage students is send those final transcripts. So if you've earned college in the high school, running start, AP, IB credit, any college credit where you're believing you're receiving or could receive some college credit, you want to get those transcripts to the Office of Admissions. Their team does an incredible job articulating credit, and then that will get posted on your transfer equivalency report. And once that's been done, they'll send you an email to let you know that it's been articulated and where you go to find that in Web for You. And then our advisors can help you understand and interpret what that means. Submit measles immunization to the Student Health Center. More information will come out about that, but that's going to be an important factor as well in advance. And then taking the Alex Math Placement Assessment. This is Western's primary assessment tool for students who need to take math or might be wanting to take a class that may have a math prerequisite. If you're not sure about whether you need to take it, there's a great website on the testing center has an Alex site that you can go to and learn all about the MPA. That's where you'll take it. So it's an online assessment. So you can take it from home or wherever you have access to the internet, and it is proctored. So the first attempt will be practice just to get a hang of the test, and then the second attempt will be proctored, and that's where you'll get that official score once you take a proctored version of it. Couple questions here. Let's see. I'm going to jump to chat for just a minute. These are some really great questions. When is registration for classes? That will happen during your fall advising and orientation experience. So not time for that just yet, but that more information will come about how to sign up for that program through New Student Services. Is there a section in Web for You that lists when you get to register for fall quarter? So that will be, again, a part of that fall advising and orientation program for your first quarter. And then every quarter after that, as a continuing student at Western, that will be posted in Web for You. It's not there just yet for y'all. I'm taking UW Spanish in the classroom, and I was wondering if this is a university accepted. If it's a course that you're, great question, transfer credit from UW Spanish class. Western Office of Admissions has a transfer course equivalency guide in the transfer policy section of their website. So I recommend checking that resource out. And if you have other questions, you definitely can reach out to the Office of Admissions as far as transfer articulation. Registration questions, I think I've answered that one a couple times now, but that will happen during your fall advising and orientation experience. What's the latest to declare your major if you're coming in as a junior? That's a great question. Western likes to see that students are declared by 90 credits. At 105 credits, it's called 105 credit hold policy. So we place a hold on students' registration and require that they chat with an advisor to make sure they're on track with major declaration. But if you're coming in with more than 105 credits, we're not going to put a hold on your first quarter. We'll reach out to you, but not place a hold. So what I would recommend that you do is, if you have a major in mind, get in touch with that academic department. If you're unsure, lots of resources available to help you explore in that process. What happens if you can't find a roommate after the housing deadline? I am going to defer to housing on that question. Great question. I don't have the answer to that one. University residences are a great group of folks that can help answer that question. So definitely reach out to them with that one. How long does it take for the department to review your transcript for credit? That is a great question for the Office of Admissions. Andrea, I'm going to follow up with you on that one. I'm writing a note here. I'll follow up with you on that question. The Office of Admissions is the office that does initial review of your credit, and they do a really great job making sure that students, as long as they've submitted within the timeline that's been provided by them, they'll have it articulated by the time your orientation date is set. But that's all communicated from the Office of Admissions. I don't have that date off the top of my head, but I'll follow up with you on that one. Couple questions about admissions. When do I submit measles immunity by? That is required by the time you register for classes. I would recommend doing it well in advance of that. So if you have those measles immunization records, you've confirmed to attend, your countdown to Western or your portal with the Office of Admissions will give you instructions also on how to do that when that becomes available. Great question. If I'm coming in as a junior, how do I know I'll get into a class if it's full? So depending on the class, first I would say if you know there's a class you're interested in, I would get in touch with that department. It sounds like this class may be a course for a major you're interested in. So I would get in touch with that academic department advisor. They can help you with that navigation. I would also share that our academic departments and our registrar's office work together to release seats during orientation for incoming students. So they kind of hold back some seats in different areas based off of what we think incoming students may have some interest in, and then those get released during orientation for students. So when do we take the ALEX? Really, you could take, once you've confirmed, you can take it at any point. I would say earlier the better. You do have some options to retest, and so the sooner you take the assessment, the more time you've allowed yourself to do some retakes if you'd like to. Is there a deadline on when do I need to take the math placement assessment? There is not a deadline. However, if you're wanting to take it before you can register for a class, I would say early on, get it done early so then you've got that score in the system and you can use it to register. It looks like there's lots of great questions. I'm going to take a break, hop back to my presentation because I think we're going to get into math transfer credit questions, which are all really great, but I'm going to keep going here and then we can pop back into chat. Wonderful. So what classes do I register for? So this is really thinking about, this is a broad brush stroke. So every student is in their own unique situation, but these are common responses to this question. So if you're coming in and we realize some students are coming in with a direct transfer agreement, associate's degree, which means you've satisfied Western's general university requirements, so great job. And a lot of our first-year students are working through those general university requirements, which general university requirements are a great way to explore majors, take courses across the whole span of courses at the university, and really the crux of what makes a liberal arts education. So those are great classes to take. If you have an interest in taking any majors or coursework that's STEM related, so science, technology, engineering, math, you want to take math in your first quarter. So really important that you take that math placement assessment and know what you need. Consider majors if you're transferring in at high credit. So we really want students, if you're in that higher credit range transferring in, to be seriously thinking about a major because that means you're you're hopefully making progress with GURs, or you may have your GURs done. And so diving into a major is going to be an important thing. If you're coming in with less than 45 credits, FIGs are a great option. They're freshman interest groups. They're a cluster of courses that students take in their first quarter that combined a couple of GUR courses, so it's general university requirements, plus a 2-credit seminar course, which is a course that is just you and 24 other first-year students. So a nice option to take. We get a question a lot. How many credits do I take? How many classes do I take? And that is sometimes varies if you're coming from high school. It's a different environment and setup. So we recommend students take 14 to 16 credits per quarter, which is around 3 to 4 classes. We recommend that because Western has a graduation requirement of 180 credits. So if you break that 180 down, and if your goal is to be here at Western for, let's say, 4 years, that's 45 credits a year. So on average, 15 credits. Sometimes it's hard to get that precise 15. So we say 14 to 16 is a safe place to be. Talk for a minute about major declaration. Exploring majors. Take advantage of what's out there. If you're unsure about a major, maybe you have a major in mind, but you're not totally sure if this is the right fit for you. Learn about them, research. We'd much rather have you exploring and research versus thinking you want to major in something and getting into it and saying, this maybe isn't what I want to do. So the catalog, Western's catalog, has programs of study in it, which lists all the majors and minors, gives you an overview, tells you who to contact for the major, which is really nice, and then lists the steps that are required to declare. Major academic departments have really great resources on their own websites. They talk about, they give faculty profiles, they talk about interesting projects that students are working on or the department's working on, and more about the actual curriculum itself. Take those GUR courses, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. And then our office, academic advising, student outreach services, and career services all offer choosing a major appointments for students once they get to Western. When do I declare? It really is going to depend on the major. And that's where those programs of study are going to help you get a sense of what is it that, what's required. We say in general, by 60 credits, we recommend students have a good idea of what they want to major in. By 90 credits, be declared. And learning about majors is also going to help in that. So figuring out what is the major. There are some majors that are higher in credits. So the sooner you can figure those out, then you can be on track to graduate in a timely manner. So I'm going to open it up now for Q&A. So go ahead and jump in if anybody wants to turn their audio on and share a question. Happy to answer that for you.
So you run on a quarter instead of semester schedule?
Yep, Western is a quarter system.
I have a really quick question. I'm a little late to join, but I'm a full-time running start student, so I'll be coming in with my AA. Great. So I saw like in the chat, there was a question about if I have to take the math placement, even though like I'll already have taken like college level math. Do I still have to take that?
It depends on if you want to major in something or minor in something that might require math. And so if you don't have any intentions of majoring in anything that might require math, then no, you're done with math at Western.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good question.
How do we make one-on-one appointments for advising?
That's a great question. So you'll be, we're first going to meet you during orientation. So that's going to be the first experience. And then after that point, you could just call the academic advising office and we can schedule you an appointment. But I would say for now, your first time we'll meet with you virtually is during your fall advising and orientation.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
So when is orientation?
When is orientation? Great question. It's in the summer. So New Student Services Family Outreach has some information posted on their website. It's during August. We're working on finalizing those final dates and times, and that information will be coming out in the next month or so from New Student Services. You can also follow their website as well.
When it comes to jobs,
Are you there? You cut out.
What if I want to minor in math and I've taken up to calculus 2 during running start?
During running start? Great
Yeah.
question. I would say get in touch with the math department. They can help you understand the classes that you've taken already and then how that would apply towards the minor in mathematics.
So would I still have to take the ALEX test?
If you've taken through pre-calculus 2, you shouldn't have to. Obviously, I'm not looking at your academic records or anything, but going through pre-calculus 2, typically students don't have to take the math
I'm in
placement assessment.
calculus 2, not pre-calculus.
Calculus 2, sorry. Then definitely no.
Okay.
As long,
Thank
it depends on the grade, obviously, that you're receiving in the class, but through Calc 2, that's where you shouldn't have to take the math placement test or math placement assessment, and talking with the math department is going to be a good idea to figure out what might be able to apply and what else you might have to take at that point.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
this is a little off topic, but for those wanting to do work study and different jobs on campus, when that is open again, do you know when that would be posted or where it would be posted?
Yes, I don't. Yes and no. I can answer these questions. All on-campus student jobs are run through the Student Employment Center, which is a part of the trifecta of financial aid and the Scholarship Center. So where to go to find that information would be the student employment website.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm a transfer student and I plan to get into the electrical engineering program. I still have prerequisites to take, so I think I would declare as a pre-engineering major. Would I be going through Lisa Oakes, who is the engineering advisor, or would I go through somebody else?
You're right. Lisa Oakes, she's your go-to. She's excellent. You've been doing your homework. Good job. And the program as a transfer, I know we've got a few transfer students on the call, so I'm so glad you mentioned that. Transfer students actually participate in our transitions program, which is the program dedicated for incoming transfer students. It's very, very similar to fall advising and orientation. It's just for our transfer students. So yeah, I would say get in touch with Lisa and she can walk you through the process for pre-majoring in engineering. That is a major that does have a pre-major status while you're working through those prerequisite classes.
Thank you.
Cool. I know that running start with the DTA degree, that's not really considered a transfer degree, but would we still do the transition orientation or would we do the first year?
You will attend, yeah, Western, that's a great question. Running start students, even though you have transfer credits coming in, we still consider you to be a first-year student. So first-year student is considered any freshman students or students who have participated in the Running Start program. So Running Start students will participate in the Fall Advising and Orientation program. We do have some sessions for Fall Advising and Orientation that are dedicated for high credit students. So if you're coming in with 45 credits or more, we've have those as separate within the Fall Advising and Orientation. Those are in the beginning of the program.
So those that are needing to declare their major right away, that would be open for
the first sessions of Fall Advising and Orientation, they're dedicated for students coming in with higher credit, and so we work with academic departments to make sure that they're a little bit more available during that time for higher credit students to be able to connect with them. But I would say if you have a major in mind, you can reach out to academic departments right now. They're available.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Is the FIGS program you were mentioning earlier compatible with the honors program?
It can be, and that's a great question for Dr. Linneman and Dr. Goldman, who are the director and assistant director of those programs. It definitely can be. I would say they're going to want to answer that probably and not have me answer that for honors. They do primarily all the honors advising. The reason why I'm hesitating is honors is a good amount of curriculum, and wanting to make sure that everything fits together is going to be an important part that Dr. Linneman can walk you through. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an out-of-state
student, and I was wondering how well credits transfer from out-of-state schools like colleges in Colorado.
That's a great question, and I'm going to deflect that one to, I'm going to write your name down here. I'm going to get in touch with the Office of Admissions. I'm not really sure. I can't specifically answer that question because our office doesn't do credit articulation. We do see a lot, I will say, we see a lot of students from out of state, specifically Colorado, with some transfer credits. So I'll do some specific follow-up. This is Juliet, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have the same question that Morgan typed. Will transitions be at the same time as the other orientation?
Transitions is actually a little bit before fall advising and orientation. That program runs just a little bit earlier.
Okay, so if we are a transfer student, we'll be in that.
You'll be in that. Yep, you'll receive, if you're a transfer student, you'll receive an invitation to transitions. If you are a freshman or running start student, so what we consider our first year students, you'll be invited to attend the fall advising and orientation program.
Thank you.
Yep. I realize I'm not caught up on chat here, so I'm opening my chat back up. So feel free to jump in with audio questions if you like as well.
Is there a deadline to send in your final transcript once the school year ends this summer?
That's a great question, and I'm going to check with the Office of Admissions since their office processes those. I can't speak on behalf of them. This is Katrina. I can't see your last name, so I will take a look and see if we can find out what that deadline is. Other questions?
For the FIGS program, how do you apply for it, or?
That's a great question. There is not an application process for the FIGS program. It's the prerequisite is really you need to be transferring in less than 45 credits. And so it's really designed for students who are considered freshmen or freshman status. The FIGS website, as of yesterday, was not quite up yet for fall 2020, but I know they're working really hard on it. And so you can keep checking that website. I know freshmen are also going to be receiving information from the office that runs the FIGS program. And what's really great about the FIGS program is that you can pre-register for classes. So once their website goes live, you'll receive information about the FIGS program, and then it'll direct you to their website where you can review all the different FIG cluster options, and then you can submit a form online where you can pre-register. So you would actually get registered for classes before you even come to orientation. It's great. And you would typically, FIGS students will end up registering for one more course, maybe two, depending on the credit amount of the FIG cluster. So you're nearly done registering for classes with that FIG cluster. It's a great thing. A lot of students, they're like, wow, this made my class registration so much easier for my first quarter. And what's really great about the FIG clusters is they're in subjects areas all across the university, and they really allow students to also get a start in a major. So for example, psychology, we know, is a really popular major. There's a few FIGs that include Psychology 101, which is the prerequisite class to that. That's the first class you take for all the psychology courses for the major. So that's a great example of one. There's lots of ALEX math placement assessment questions, and a lot of them can get pretty specific. So what I would say for all of these ALEX math placement assessment questions is go to the ALEX website. Hey, Joe, would you mind posting the Alex website in the chat for me, if you wouldn't mind? Go to the Alex website. You can learn a little bit more about Alex. There's a section on exceptions, and so you can click on the exceptions section, and it tells you who might be exempt. If you have follow-up questions, I'll put my email address here. You can email me directly, and I'm happy to answer those individual questions. Math just tends to be a super individualized questions. And Joe Golden just posted the Alex website there. So thanks for posting that, Joe. That's super helpful. Okay, let me see. Does my GPA transfer? I love this question. Courses will transfer to Western, but the GPA that you earned at another institution does not carry to your Western GPA. So when Western calculates your Western GPA, it's only looking at the courses that you earn at Western. Now, in some cases, a major, some majors have a GPA requirement. Some majors look at your Western GPA. Some majors look at your all institutional GPA, which would be any prior institutions you've attended. They calculate that, what that cumulative would be across. But that's a great question. We actually have a GPA calculator on our website, and we do a lot of GPA calculator work with students all the time. So. Okay, let's see. I'm a freshman pre-engineering major in the honors program, so who should be my advisor? This is a great question. You probably have two people you want to work with. This was Megan who asked this question. So you're going to want to work with the engineering advisor, Lisa Oakes. Her name was mentioned a few minutes ago, as well as an honors advisor. And that is not uncommon for students if you're part of an honors program as well as a major, or for some students if you're double majoring, you're going to have advisors in both of those academic areas. Okay. Kate asked a question a bit ago. Is there a date when Western will decide whether or not to open in the fall because of COVID? Western made an announcement actually yesterday, and it's in our Western Today. We will be opening in the fall. Our motto will be hybrid, so there'll be a combination of online classes, of hybrid online and in-person classes, and then all in-person classes. So the announcement just went out yesterday. There's a lot of planning underway to organize and make sure that Western is prepared and ready to go. Safety of our community is a paramount. That's the priority for Western right now. So we're excited about the announcement that went out yesterday, and know that there's a lot of planning that's underway and a lot of folks working together to make sure that classes will be offered in a safe way. Another question here, when do we have to register by, and will we be able to get an advisor before registering? I'm coming in with an AA and I don't know what classes I'll particularly need for my major. Great question. So if you have a major in mind, we recommend you get in touch with that academic area right now. In the catalog, the programs of study, you can look up those majors and it tells you who the contact people are, so they can give you some recommendations. You'll register for the first time during orientation, so they could give you tips on classes that you might be able to register for and how to be prepared for that experience. Great. Emily asked a question, if I'm thinking of going into behavioral neuroscience, should I have a specific advisor? I'm an incoming freshman. So this is a great question, Emily. Our office is a great resource for you to work with when it comes to advising around the behavioral neuroscience major. That contact person is Andrea Swanson. She is the person who works with students through those courses. Behavioral neuroscience, also known as BNS, is a great major and requires a significant amount of math and science prerequisites. So getting going in that sequence is going to be an important thing for you to do as you navigate. Thanks, Joe, for posting. She posted any COVID announcements on our coronavirus website, which is there. So thanks, Joe. question about, has there been an announcement about SAT requirements and if those have changed? That is not something that I'm aware of yet, but that will be something that comes out from the Office of Admissions. Nicole, I'm going to jot your name down there so we can do some follow-up. Great. What are the different topics for FIGs? Great question from Robert. FIGs are really around a thematic kind of topic or question. And so they could involve an art history class and a psychology class, or an anthropology class and a history class. They really vary, and the professors come together typically with a theme for the class. And then your seminar class, which is the more individualized or 1:24 ratio, 1:25 ratio, the class focuses on that topic throughout the year. So they really range. Once that FIGS website is live, I recommend checking it out because it also provides a description of what the FIG experience is going to be like. I have not yet seen the fall 2020 FIGs, which are always really exciting to see that. Can you choose a minor from a different discipline than your major? Great question, and the answer is yes, absolutely. We see students choose to do majors or minors for a variety of reasons. Minors are often fairly, they're not huge, so most are 24, 25 credits. There's a few that are larger than that, but some students realize that they've already got 15 credits in anthropology and the minor is only 2 more classes, so they might as well, they're enjoying it and they might as well pursue that. Some students choose to do it for career-related reasons. They're wanting to add a skill set, so they're going to tack on a minor. Some students realize they've got elective classes to meet the graduation requirements, so they choose to organize those electives in a way to do that. So our office works with students all the time on minors. They can be really a great option for students. How do you recommend contacting departments? There's a couple different ways to do that. One is go to Western's homepage and click on the directory at the top. I use it every day. It's a great tool to use. But in the catalog, in the programs of study, all of the contact people for all the majors are also listed there. That's another good resource. Here's a great question from Miguel. If I know the general field I would want to go into, for example, I want to try to go into the legal field, but since it's Fairhaven, should I email the department or talk to a Western counselor? How do applications work? If you want to go into law, you can major in anything. Law schools will accept all sorts of undergraduate degrees. We do have a law diversity and justice minor within Fairhaven, which is a really popular and exciting minor. You can get in touch with them at any point. We also have law school advisors who are available to students, and you can connect with them through our Career Services Center. We have some great resources there that they can work with you. Can you be in a FIG and take classes outside of the cluster? You can be in a FIG. So how a FIG works is it's usually about 3/4 of a schedule. So typically 3 classes, and then you would add 1 more course that's just a different standalone course is how that would work. And we would help you identify that class and register. What is the average class size? I really don't know the answer to this. I should know this. Classes really range, I think, depending on the class that you're looking at. If you are interested, classes range from anywhere from 24, 25 students up to 250 students in a large lecture class. Our average class size overall, though, is very, very small. Joe, if you happen to know that off the top of your head, if not, we can follow up with that one. There it is. Approximately 27 students is our average class size. So yeah, when I was at Western, I don't think I had any more than 20 students in any of my classes. I did transfer and went right into my major, but yeah, pretty small there. Can classes taken at previous college be used for minors at Western? Absolutely. So those classes will be on your transfer equivalency report, and a lot of students use transfer credit to go towards minors at Western. If I'm a pre-med student, transfer student, who should I talk to for advising? Western has a really robust pre-med and pre-healthcare advising offered through our Career Services Center. And Anna Tognazini is the lead advisor there. I know that she also posted a great video, pre-recorded video with the Admitted Student Day website. So I'd encourage you to check that out if you haven't done that. But pre-med is really a popular pathway. I will say that pre-med is not a major at Western. Pre-med is a pathway. So you would still pursue a major, which most medical schools don't require any specific major, but what they do require is a set of prerequisite classes: math, sciences, some social sciences, a variety of classes, lots of chemistry, and typically students, Anna will work with them to navigate those prerequisite classes. And then their office also helps students applying to medical schools and applying to graduate schools, which is a really stellar resource. There's a question. I'm transferring into Western. I have an interest in 2 different programs: human services and public health. Good job knowing public health. That's been a name change. So community health is recently changing to public health. Human services, your contact person is Misty Williams in their office. Public health is Jen Lida. She's the health and human development advisor. So I would recommend maybe getting in touch with those areas if you're unsure. I appreciate this question because I realize some students might have a couple ideas in mind but aren't really sure exactly which one to land on. So talking to those content experts, asking them questions about the major, things that you might be curious about, seeing how that fits. And then we see a lot of students, once they engage and talk to those specific discipline areas, it really helps them solidify the direction that they want to go. It looks like another FIG question. For your 3 main classes, you are in classes with people from my FIG. So how FIG works, FIG clusters. So you are in a class with, let's say, this seminar class, which you and 24 other students, you all take these 2 other GUR classes. There's other students in this class, but you're still in those same classes with those same students. So you've got a community that you've built, and you're all taking those 3 same classes together. Again, you may have another class that's standalone and separate, but that's how that cluster works. How many FIG clusters can you take? My understanding is you really only have one for one FIG in your first quarter. Typically, there's not very many FIGs, if any, that are offered following quarters. So it's really just a first quarter experience that you would have at Western. I'll be attending Western with an AA and took some pre-major courses. Does that mean those courses will count towards my Western GPA? Great question. They will not count towards your Western GPA, but if you've taken pre-major courses and are confident that they're going to count, then they can still count towards your major. It just won't get calculated in your overall Western grade point average. Is there a different person to contact for English minor than a major? I would start with Gemma, Every Hope Rosser. Gemma's contact information is on the English department website, and she's going to help. She's going to be that first point of contact and can help you understanding what your next steps are. Where do we go to find FIGs? Thanks, Joe. She's on it. I don't know if the FIGS website is live yet, but there's going to be over on the left-hand side, as of Monday, it said FIGS 2019. Anytime it should be saying FIGS 2020, and that's where you can find information about all the FIGs. There's a housing question here. Sarah Lynn, thanks for this question. Nope, that was Sophia who asked the housing question. I am not well versed on housing. I don't work in the housing department, but I'm gonna jot your name down. Or if you wanna get in touch directly with housing, that's probably the best resource, is to go directly to them to ask your questions about that. As far as, will all freshmen be in the same dorms or students of similar majors? Housing is not organized by majors. Honors does have a concentrated area, students participating in honors programs, but they are not necessarily grouped by majors across the board. Question about the being Denied from future Woodring Scholar FIG. Is there a way to find out why or reapply? That's a great question. I would recommend getting in touch with the Woodring Office of Admissions. They have a team of folks there. I'm not sure what their admission criteria are, but I definitely would encourage you to reach out and ask your question of them. Are there options for 3-year master's, bachelor's programs? Caitlin, I'm going to get back to you on this one. This is, our office doesn't advise in master's areas, so I want to make sure to get you the specific answer to your question. I think I've mostly caught up on chat. I realize I may have missed something. My apologies in advance. My email's in there somewhere, so email me if you have more specific questions. We've got 7 minutes left together. I really appreciated your questions and engagement. Thanks so much. We've got maybe one question here. Thanks, Joe. Posted my email again. Any other questions from want to throw something on chat or ask with your audio? Will the session be posted? I believe it will be posted, and I'm going to let Joe also chime in and answer this question for us. Where can I find the general university requirements? It's a great question. If you go to Western's homepage and then click on academics, actually here, I'll just put it right in here. So catalog.ww.edu, you can go ahead and find, from there, you'll be able to find the general university requirements list. The GURs span 6 different categories: communications, quantitative, symbolic reasoning, humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, comparative gender multicultural studies. So I would, and there's hundreds of classes that students can take across those different areas. Do we have a timeline of when to expect to participate in transitions? Transitions will be happening in late July. And again, more information will be coming out in the next month from New Student Services Family Outreach about more of details of the dates, times, and how to make a reservation for that program. Got accepted to biology program. How do I get in contact with an advisor about what classes to take? Congratulations, that's exciting. Your biology advisors, Marian Brinson and Alexis Donnelly, you can get in touch with them. If you go to the biology department website, they have ways to get in touch with them. They're offering virtual appointments with students, as well as they do a lot of email advising with students. I think it's a great question. A question about AP test scores to admissions. So how that works is when Western receives your AP scores, they'll articulate them, and that gets shown on your transfer equivalency report. So as long as you've sent your AP scores through College Board, you've done everything you've needed to do. Office of Admissions will then articulate that. It'll show up on your transfer equivalency report, and it will show what class you may receive credit for, and if it fulfills any general university requirements. A question about, can we test out of math if we do well on the ALEX math placement assessment? It is not a test out option. You still need to demonstrate by taking a course at Western. So that is a placement assessment, placing you into a class, but you will need to take a class at Western. I would say if you have more questions on that, the math department is a great resource for you. Great question about using email. So to contact any of the Western Washington University faculty, should we be using our Western email address? I think it's a great idea. Western's official form of communication is email. So I think it's a great thing to do. It's a great practice for you to do, to start checking your Western email. We encourage students to make a habit of it. Check your email at least once a day to stay on top of announcements and information. So it's not required to email your faculty with your Western one, but I think it's a great idea, and I would encourage you to do so. Can you share info regarding academic coaching, mentoring, tutoring, advising, counseling, accommodations, etc.? Yeah, happy to take a stab at this question. Definitely ask some more detailed questions of me if I don't hit on them. So Western's primary advising resources, as I mentioned earlier, are academic advising and student outreach services. Both of our offices take an appreciative advising approach, which is really a strength-based approach when working with students, finding out what's working for them and then just adding to that toolbox. Our teams of advisors are really campus navigators. So students pose questions of, I'm really struggling with this, or high school was really different than colleges, which is very true. You know, so we can help students navigate to different resources because the resources Western has are overwhelming sometimes how many resources are available to you. So we can help you navigate to the most appropriate resources. SOS does actually have for student outreach services, they're the office that focuses primarily on first generation college students. They do have a peer mentoring program, which is a pretty robust program. Tutoring resources, Western offers a tutoring center for all undergraduate math and science courses. It's a great resource for students. I know they're doing a lot of virtual tutoring right now. They also offer some great study skills tutoring. So I mentioned earlier that transition from high school to college can be a significant one sometimes. And so sometimes students realize they need to ramp up their study skills or help with time management or any number of general study skills that can apply to all classes. So they do individualized study skills appointments, which are a really great resource for students. Western does have a robust counseling center that provides individualized short-term counseling for students, and then for students needing longer-term counseling, we'll connect them with resources within the community, and we have a case manager for that. Accommodations, I'm going to assume this means accommodations for any kind of academic accommodation. So working with the Disability Access Center, which is a great resource for students who have some kind of need for an accommodation. As long as documentation is provided, they have a great website that shows you how to get started with getting accommodations with their office. So again, the Disability Access Center, great resource for students. Apologies if this has already been answered. That's okay. No apologies necessary. Who should we talk to concerning Running Start and transferring Running Start credits? You're going to want to transfer those credits. You'll need to work directly with the Washington State Community or Technical College that you received those credits at and request those scores or those transcripts be sent to Western. You need to do that. Your high school counselor doesn't do that. Your Running Start coordinator doesn't do that. That's up to you to request those final transcripts be sent to Western. And that's the primary thing. If you have more specific questions, Max, feel free to reach out to me about those. There's a question about Central Cornerstone program. That's not a program I'm familiar with, but I am going to follow up with that one separately, unless Joe knows the answer right now and can jump in. Okay. Well, we are at time. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Thank you again so much for spending an hour with me. I hope you all are doing well, staying well, and look forward to seeing you in the fall. Have a great day. Thank you.